The Good, the Bad and the Ugly is a 1966 Italian epic spaghetti western film directed by Sergio Leone. The screenplay was written by Age and Scarpelli, Luciano Vincenzoni, and Sergio Leone, based on a story by Vincenzoni and Leone. The film features three gunmen who race to find the treasure of a buried Confederate gold cache amid the violent chaos of the American Civil War in 1862. Plot: in 1862, in the American Southwest during the Civil War, three bounty hunters attack Mexican bandit Tuco Ramirez, aka the Ugly, played by Eli Wallach, who shoots all three of them. Elsewhere, a mercenary known as Angel Eyes, aka the Bad, played by Lee Van Cleef, interrogates former Confederate soldier Stevens, who he has been hired to kill. In an attempt to save his life, Stevens tells Angel Eyes about Jackson, a fugitive who stole a cache of Confederate gold. After learning Jackson's new alias, Bill Carson, Angel Eyes kills Stevens and then sadistically kills his employer Baker so he can find the gold himself. Tuco is rescued from a trio of bounty hunters by a nameless drifter, who is called Blondie by Tuco. Blondie delivers Tuco to the local sheriff to collect his $2,000 bounty. As Tuco is about to be hanged, Blondie severs Tuco's noose by shooting it and setting him free. The two escape on horseback and split the bounty. They repeat the process in another town until Blondie grows weary of Tuco's complaints and strands him in the desert. As Tuco curses Blondie, aka the Good, played by Clint Eastwood, remarks Tuco is ungrateful for saving his life so many times. Bent on revenge, and after one failed attempt with his gang, Tuco finally catches up with Blondie and force marches him across the desert until Blondie collapses from dehydration. A runaway horse-drawn hospital ambulance arrives with several dead Confederate soldiers and a near-death Bill Carson, played by Antonio Casale, who promises Tuco $200,000 in Confederate gold, buried in a grave in Sad Hill Cemetery, in exchange for help. When Tuco returns with water, Carson has died and Blondie is slumped next to him, revealing that Carson told him the name on the grave before dying. Suddenly, although both men had previously tried to kill each other, they realize that they need one another alive to find the gold, as only Tuco knows the name of the cemetery and only Blondie knows where it is within the cemetery. Tuco poses as a Confederate soldier and takes Blondie to a nearby frontier mission to recover. At the mission, Tuco reunites with his brother, Pablo, who left his family when Tuco was young to become a priest. Their meeting does not go well. They become hostile and engage in a physical confrontation. Tuco and Blondie subsequently leave the monastery. The duo decides to search for the gold together. Tuco yells Confederate supportive statements to a distant group of soldiers, but they turn out to be members of a Union patrol, the blue color of their uniforms having been obscured by dust. Blondie and Tuco are taken to a prison camp that Angel Eyes has infiltrated as a Union sergeant in his search for Bill Carson. Tuco poses as Carson and is taken away for questioning. He reveals the name of the cemetery under torture and is sent away to be hanged. Knowing Blondie would not reveal the name on the grave, Angel Eyes recruits him into his search. Tuco escapes his fate by killing Angel Eyes' henchmen and soon finds himself in an evacuated town, where Blondie, Angel Eyes, and his gang have also arrived. Blondie finds Tuco and the pair kill Angel Eyes' men, though Angel Eyes escapes. They travel towards Sad Hill before ending up on the Union side of a military siege over a strategic bridge. Blondie decides to destroy the bridge to disperse the two armies to allow access to the cemetery. As they wire the bridge with explosives, Tuco suggests they share the location of the grave with each other, in case either is killed during the fighting. Tuco reveals the name of the cemetery, while Blondie says, Arch Stanton, is the name on the grave. After the bridge is demolished, the armies disperse. Tuco steals a horse and rides to Sad Hill to claim the gold for himself. Tuco finds Arch Stanton's grave and begins digging, where Blondie encourages him at gunpoint to continue. Angel Eyes arrives and holds Blondie and Tuco at gunpoint. Blondie opens the grave, which contains no gold, and reveals that he lied about the name on the grave. He appears to write the real name of the grave on a rock before challenging Tuco and Angel Eyes to a three-way duel. The trio stares each other down. Everyone eventually draws, with Blondie killing Angel Eyes, while Tuco discovers that his gun was unloaded by Blondie the night before. Blondie reveals that the gold is actually in the grave beside Arch Stanton's, marked unknown. Tuco is initially elated to find bags of gold, but Blondie holds him at gunpoint and orders him into a hangman's noose beneath a tree. Blondie binds Tuco's hands and forces him to stand atop an unsteady grave marker while he takes his half of the gold and rides away. As Tuco screams for mercy, Blondie returns into sight. He severs the rope with a rifle shot. The ending shows Tuco falling face first into his share of the gold, Angel Eyes lying in a grave, and a furious Tuco standing and cursing Blondie while he disappears over the horizon. About the film. The film directed by Sergio Leone, and it is the third installment in Sergio Leone's Dollars trilogy, which also includes A Fistful of Dollars, 1964, and For a Few Dollars More, 1965. The screenplay was written by Agent Scarpelli, Luciano Vincenzoni, and Sergio Leone, based on a story by Vincenzoni and Leone. The film produced by Alberto Grimaldi. Casting of the film was Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef and Eli Wallach. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly was primarily filmed in Spain, with additional locations in Italy. Production began at the Cinecittà studio in Rome in mid-May 1966, including the opening scene between Eastwood and Wallach when Blondie captures Tuco for the first time and sends him to jail. The production then moved on to Spain's Plateau region near Burgos in the north, which doubled for the southwestern United States, and again shot the western scenes in Almeria in the south of Spain. The film showcased the beautiful landscapes of the Spanish countryside and utilized various iconic western settings. The film's memorable and influential score was composed by Ennio Morricone. The soundtrack features a distinctive blend of Western-inspired music, including the iconic main theme that has become synonymous with the genre. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly was released on December 23, 1966, in Italy. It had subsequent releases in other countries, including the United States, in 1967. The film had a budget of approximately $1.2 million. At the box office, it achieved considerable success, grossing over $25 million worldwide. Upon its release, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly received mixed reviews from critics. However, over time, it has garnered widespread acclaim and is now regarded as a cinematic masterpiece. The film's cinematography, direction, performances, and Morricone's score are often praised. The film has left a lasting legacy in the Western genre and the overall film industry. It is considered one of the greatest Western films ever made and has had a significant influence on subsequent movies, filmmakers, and pop culture references. 10 interesting facts about The Good, the Bad and the Ugly movie. 1. The film was the highest-grossing spaghetti western of all time and solidified Leone's status as a master of the genre. 2. Ennio Morricone's score, especially the main theme, became instantly recognizable and synonymous with westerns. 3. Because writer and director Sergio Leone spoke barely any English and Eli Wallach spoke barely any Italian, the two communicated in French. 4. In the gun store, everything Tuco, played by Eli Wallach, does with the guns was unscripted. 5. As an Italian-made movie of that era, the sound was not recorded live. The actors and actresses said their lines in their native languages and the dialogue was dubbed in post-production. 6. Charles Bronson was offered the roles of Tuco and Angel Eyes, he declined both roles. 7. The three-man gunfight scene is called either a Mexican standoff or a truel. 8. Henry Fonda, Lee Marvin, and Enrico Maria Salerno were considered for Angel Eyes. 9. The Good, the Bad and the Ugly was filmed on a relatively modest budget but achieved immense success both commercially and critically. 10. The movie's final showdown, set in a cemetery, has become legendary for its tension, close-ups, and sweeping camera movements.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more interesting videos and don't forget to press like button and share.